Welcome to the web service part of our SAP Cloud Application Studio training. In this part, we want to learn how we can create a custom web service based on our own application. So again, we use the bonus plan example, we created our own business objects bonus plan, and now we want to not create new bonus plans via the UI, but we want to create them via a web service, some from an external system. All we have to do again now, we have to do a right click on our bonus plan, on our business object, say create service integration, and then select web service. In the last tutorial, we showed how the XML file input can be done, and in this tutorial, we would like to show the web service. So we select the web service, and we'll just generate a web service. There is a predefined name, we just leave this name for the web service. And then next, we have to select the fields that we want to use in our web service. So in this dialog now, we can see all the attributes from our business object. Here in the background, you see our business object, and here we can see the attributes. In our case, we select all the attributes, not all of them, because we have, again, a technical field here, the SAP to employee UID, which is just generated when we have an association. And also the is consistent, we will deselect, and also the total revenue and total bonus, because from a use case perspective, it doesn't make sense to provide already a revenue or bonus, because this is calculated during our bonus calculation. So now, let's go with that and click next. Now, after selecting the basic information which fields you want to use, we can create the operations for web service. Basically, we have a create operation, which helps us to create a new bonus plan. We have a read operation, which allows us to read a bonus plan and get all the information from the bonus plan. We have an update operation, which will allow us to update already existing bonus plans. And we have a query that we can use to query by elements. For example, if I want to have all bonus plans that are valid in year 2014, I could do such a query with the query by elements and retrieve then the respective values after that. Also, we have an action here, so we have the calculate bonus. So what we could do, we could create a bonus from an external system and then also trigger the calculation of our bonus. So then from an external system, the calculation would be done and our bonus plan would have the right values. So because rights management in cloud systems at SAP is done via the work centers, we have to create also a work center here. We don't have to create a work center, but we have to assign at least a view. So let's use an existing view because we have all the views in the system. We just assume that everybody that has the view bonus plan VC view assigned as a user should also be able to create web services from a web service the bonus plans. This is maybe not the right assumption, but in our case we just do that here now. So here we can select now which operations this user can then select if he has this work center assigned, and we continue with next. Now we are already almost finished. So we defined a web service now that has a certain amount of fields and has a create, read, update, query, and an action as operations. So we click finish and the web service is generated. After that, we just have to activate it and then we can just download the WSDL. So I will activate it now, and after the activation is done, we can download the WSDL and use this already from an external system. Okay, the activation is done. Now we can just do a right click and here you can download the WSDL file, which is the definition file of a web service. So let's download that. So here now I can just download the WSDL file and save it to my desktop. After that, I can just open up the tool SOAP UI, which can be used for web service communication. Okay, So, SOAP UI is a tool for testing web service communication. Normally, you would just hand over the WSDL to an external service provider, and this provider would then use this WSDL to call your service. But in our case, we want to do a testing, and everybody can just do this with this tool. So we go to the WSDL that I just saved to my desktop, manage bonus plan in here. I click OK, and this tool here will generate automatically the operations that are available. So, for example, the create operation. Now, we see how a web service should look like here. We have many optional parameters here and only a few mandatory attributes. So, what to do now? Basically, now we can test our web service because it's completely functional and already working. So an external system could now communicate with the cloud application and send bonus plans, update bonus plans, read bonus plans. But let's do that. So at first, I need to alter the generated example a little bit. I can remove most of the stuff because it is optional. So I will empty the basic message header. Now the rest is already very readable because we know our BO definition, and it's very similar already the web service request to our BO and also to our screen. I mean, we have a bonus plan ID, employee ID, description, start and end date. It's the same things we have here. We have a bonus plan ID that we just fill. We have a description, let's call it web service description. We have a start date that we need to provide here. So I just provide a start date and I provide an end date for my bonus plan. A bonus rate, a target amount where we need a currency and also the amount, which is €1,000, and an employee ID. Here again, we don't need the scheme ID and the scheme agency ID, this is optional. An employee ID would be good, so let's take one that really exists. So this one, for example. And then using this request, we should be able to send the message here, and we should see a new bonus plan on the UI. So let's test that. Let's execute our request. This failed now. We get a logon error message. This is because currently we didn't assign any rights here. We didn't put any credentials here. And for sure, not everybody should create bonus plans. So we have to put here a username and a password. So I will put now my username here and also my password. And after that, we should not get the logon error message, but we should get the message that we created a bonus plan. Let's see if I filled the payload correctly here. Fortunately, I did. So we get now a response back from the system. Create operation was successfully. So we should see now a bonus plan with exactly this ID. Let's go back to the system here. Sure, here it's not. I first need to refresh here. So I will just move from here to here. And here we go. We see our web service description here. This is a bonus plan that we created now via web service. So you see, in a few minutes we created a complete web service with operation to work here. Let's test also maybe the update. So if you go back to our SOAP UI and just open up now the update operation, or let's test the read operation first because it's easy. So we want to test with a bonus plan ID here, and now we want to test with a read. The read is very easy. It only contains the bonus plan ID and nothing else. And as a response, we should get all the details from the bonus plan. So let's execute that. First, we need again the user and password here. And I execute this, and now I should get here all the details. And see, we get the details here. Web service description, start date, end date, everything is there that we did in our create. Okay, but now let's do something more. We want to update now. We want to change the description per web service. So we go now here, remove all the basic message header elements here, remove everything that we don't need. We only want to change the description, right? So we need to add an ID here because we want to change the description of this one. Change description. per web service. Okay, so now let's add again my username and my password here. And now we just send this request, and then the description should change. Update operation was successful. So now let's take a look here at the front end. Here we cannot see it, but if I refresh my screen, go back here, I see change description per web service, and this is changed. We can also simply do it via the SAP UI. So we just simply put this again in the read, or we just execute the read here again. It's still here. You see still the old description in the response. And now we execute it again and we see the new description. So you see, that is how easy we can create a web service based on a custom business object and communicate with an external system. I simulated an external system now with SAP UI. Normally this would be done by an external system that really consumes our service. Thank you for watching, and talk to you in the next tutorial.